So guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo. This is getting out of hand. Oscar De La Hoya says he will knock Canelo out. This has got very, very nasty. Eddie Hearn in the week was talking about it, and he said it's never nice to see two guys that have achieved so much together and have now fallen out and firing shots. It's never nice. Oscar De La Hoya is a legend, and you know what? Oscar De La Hoya is so disrespected. Such a great fighter, and to be honest, I can see why people are hating on him now, because obviously Canelo's a very respected fighter and champion, and Oscar De La Hoya is coming at him. But you've got to understand some of the stuff that Canelo said. You know, it's got a bit nasty. Oscar De La Hoya's hit back at him, you know, with some of the stuff, said, "I'm going to knock your ass out," he said to Canelo, which, you know, I think Canelo will brush those off, but you could clearly see that things have got nasty between the two. I don't think, you know, there's a great relationship there at all. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see when you see two guys that Oscar De La Hoya did a lot for Canelo, and people may say, well, no, it was Richard Schaefer that did a lot, and, you know, Oscar De La Hoya was just a face. Nevertheless, it was part of his promotional company, and for me personally, he's, you know, Oscar De La Hoya helped build up Canelo. Canelo became a superstar, and he really cared for Canelo. He really cared for Canelo. Oscar really cared for Canelo Alvarez. And now I think this shows that the promoter and fighter relationship it's just a business deal. It's just a business deal. And when things go sour, that's how promoters are. Like, I find it funny that all promoters, right, when a fighter's with them, they're the best thing since sliced bread. When they leave, all of a sudden they start saying negative things about those fighters. So yeah, 1 minute, like, Bob Arum was saying that Terence Crawford could beat Sugar Ray Leonard and stuff like that. Now he's saying, you know, opposite stuff, because he knows that Terence Crawford is probably going to leave him. And all promoters are exactly the same. You know, Oscar De La Hoya was exactly the same. Hearn is exactly the same. When you're with him, he picks you up like you're the next best thing. And I guess that's a promoter's job. I guess that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to pick up their own fighters. They're supposed to bring down other fighters. That's the whole purpose of a promoter. Like, I don't like the fact that I don't mind them bigging up their own fighters and building them up to be something that they're not even. Like, you know, Eddie Hearn used to do it with Kell Brook a lot, and I used to like the way he used to big him up and say he's this and that and the other, and that used to frustrate me a little. I like this guy's love, but that's his job. He did a great job trying to promote Kell Brook. I just didn't like it when they did it. They brought down somebody else to make their fighter look better. And I just never ever liked when a promoter did that. I don't think Hearn does it as much as some of the other promoters. But some of the other promoters are really bad. They do it a lot, and it's quite irritating, because it's like, just give, like, even if a fighter's not with you, give him his respect and props of what he's doing. And Oscar De La Hoya knows Canelo's a great fighter. Oscar De La Hoya knows what Canelo's done is great, but obviously the beef is there. The beef is there. Canelo Alvarez is now going to become undisputed, looking to become undisputed. And also, not just the fact that Oscar De La Hoya knows that he's one of his rivals, Matchroom. So it's not just the fact that Canelo now has, you know, left him. It's the fact that Canelo's gone to one of his biggest rivals. And Matchroom now is such a big part of the DAZN business, because Matchroom have Canelo, they have Anthony Joshua, and they have many other fighters. Golden Boy really have Virgil Ortiz, they have Ryan Garcia, but they don't have a Jaime Munguia. So definitely DAZN definitely have a reason to still have Golden Boy there, because Golden Boy got great fighters. But you've got to think that if Golden Boy was to lose a couple of more fighters, they could get Golden Boy, because why would they really need them? What fighters have they really got? Like I said, I just named Virgil Ortiz, Ryan Garcia, Jaime Munguia, and I'm pretty sure they have others, but are those fighters really going to move the needle? Like, I know Ryan Garcia is a big potential superstar for the future, so definitely they'd be interested in him, and DAZN definitely want him on their platform. And hopefully, listen, it's always good for all promotional outfits and stables to be strong. So competition is always good. So Golden Boy being a strong stable is always good. PBC, Matchroom. You don't want one promoter to become too dominant and have a monopoly. You want there to be, like, PBC have got a very strong stable. Our Top Rank have got a good stable. Matchroom have a good stable. Golden Boy at the minute is a little weak, but maybe within time they'll get some new talents coming forward. Maybe they'll pick up and become a strong stable again. So I personally think in the promotional world, competition is a good thing. It's just that the problem is at times, with cross promotion, that these guys don't work with one another and the fights don't get made. I do think Golden Boy is open to work with everyone. I do think especially Golden Boy, Eddie Hearn, these are guys that I think that would work with anyone. Golden Boy and Matchroom have done several things together. So personally, I think Golden Boy will work with anyone, and that's what I like. But it's certain promoters that seem to keep everything in house. They don't work with any, and that's what we need as boxing fans. We need all of these promoters to be working with one another. Right? We need all of these promoters to be working with one another. And hopefully that's we can get that with Canelo and looking to fight Plant. That's gonna come to test because Canelo now is with Matchroom, and he needs to do a fight with a PBC fighter, which is the PBC stable, Al Heyman stable. He's gonna have to do a deal. So let's see if that comes through. I did say that this fight's gonna be a lot harder to make than the last two champions that he's fought in Smith and Saunders. See, the Smith and Saunders fight was always gonna happen for him right away because they were fights easy to be made because they were with DAZN. So why worry about Plant when you can make fights in a house? But now this is a fight across promotion. But Canelo, this may not be that hard to make because with Canelo being a free agent and Canelo doing his own thing, it may not be hard to make, right, with Plant. It may be a simple deal like that because, like I said, Canelo's a free agent. Now, if Canelo was still with Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya and DAZN then it would have been hard. You see, because Canelo's not, see, the thing is what Canelo's done, Canelo's not tied down with DAZN. So DAZN can't force, obviously it's not within his contract for him to be on DAZN. Now he might want to be on DAZN because that's where he may get the most money for this particular fight. So he might want it to be on DAZN. But if that's not the case and Fox and Al Heyman don't let, Caleb Plant fight on DAZN, they can easily do the fight, Canelo can easily do the fight on Fox. It's not a biggie to him. That's why it makes it great. That's why it makes it Canelo's life easy because Canelo can work with other promoters. So, for example, if he wants to fight a top-ranked fighter, right, Beterbiev is with Top Rank, right? I'm pretty sure Beterbiev is with Top Rank, right? Then that makes that fight possible because Canelo will have to work with Bob Arum. Again, with Matchroom representing Canelo, Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn have a good relationship. They've done several fights together. So that, again, will be not a hard fight to make. And Bob Arum has shown that if the money's right, he will let someone like Beterbiev go and fight on DAZN. The money's got to be right. He'll take his cut. Look at what happened with Triller. He takes his cut. Now, that went to purse bids and Triller won the purse bid. I don't know whether, if there was an offer made, would Bob Arum? I think he would. I think if the offer was right, I think Bob Arum wouldn't stop his fighter from fighting on another platform. Maybe ESPN, they would put in a massive offer to Canelo to fight Beterbiev because they know they'll get a return for that. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So, see, when Canelo is fighting, Bob Arum might not mind putting up a huge offer for it because he knows he'll make a return on Canelo because Canelo's the biggest star in the sport. People are going to tune in. ESPN will also push the money as well because they know that Canelo's a big star. Canelo will draw we'll have numbers, huge numbers with Canelo on our platform. He'll draw huge numbers. So this is why I think that someone like Canelo being a free agent is perfect for him because he's one of the biggest stars in the sport. Everybody wants Canelo on their platform, so everybody would be willing to pay huge money. because everybody knows Canelo's going to draw huge numbers and he's going to make profit. So everybody wants Canelo on their platform. So like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Al Heyman and, PBC put in a huge bid for that fight for the Plant, because they know that they will get a return on that fight because Canelo's such a big star. So this is why a lot of the broadcasters like Fox, like Top Rank, ESPN would be willing to go that extra mile for a Canelo fight, because they know they'll be able to draw. He can draw huge numbers. So this is why, and gives Canelo's in a great position, because now Canelo's like, he can fight on whatever platform and he knows that they're going to be putting up huge money. So Canelo's the winner here. So he's going to get to fight Plant even if he's fighting on Fox, and the chances are they're going to be putting up a huge offer to secure that fight, which means Canelo's going to get a huge payday. Rather than having a fixed deal with DAZN, because if he's got a £350 million contract with DAZN, that basically means that he has to fight on DAZN. And DAZN aren't going to let him fight on another platform, are they? Exactly. Because how does that make sense for their business, that they've just paid a guy $350 million for 10 fights and then they let him go and fight on another platform? It don't make sense. It don't make sense for them, does it? So, yeah. I personally think what Canelo's done is brilliant, and it's good for the sport because we'll get to see Canelo in all the biggest and best fights. In terms of Canelo and De La Hoya, it's sad to see. De La Hoya basically said he'll knock Canelo out. Obviously, people will find that bizarre. But in today's world and what we're seeing in boxing today, who's to say those two guys won't fight? You won't put it past anything in today's boxing and in today's world that those two get it on. But I don't think so. I don't think Canelo would. I don't think Canelo. Oscar De La Hoya is nearly 50. He's not going to want to fight De La Hoya. But I'll just, in today's boxing, I think there may be a chance that De La Hoya and Floyd may fight. I don't know whether Floyd will do it again personally after the Logan Paul fight. But who knows? De La Hoya's called out Floyd and said, "I'll give me 2 fights and then I'll do a fight with Mayweather." I think De La Hoya should probably be looking to use his energy with someone like Floyd, maybe call him out. But with Canelo, yeah, it's just, imagine if Canelo and De La Hoya were to fight. Imagine the numbers that would do. Imagine how big the numbers would be. Something like Canelo, De La Hoya. I know it's bizarre and it shouldn't even be sanctioned, but if it was to happen, just imagine the numbers that fight would do. We're talking that would do over 1 million pay-per-views. Imagine like DAZN, what they'd be willing to pay for that. Imagine the needle, how much that fight would move the needle. You've got 2 superstars, like we're talking Oscar De La Hoya, maybe in his prime, maybe an even bigger star. Probably not as good a fighter, but definitely in his prime as big a star as Canelo. Huge star, massive star, Olympic gold medalist. 5 division world champ, 5 or 6 division. I think he's 5 division world champion. Absolute legend De La Hoya is. And this is why I get upset when people criticize him and make him out like come on man, this guy's a legend. Like, look at what he's achieved in the sport of boxing. People say, oh, he lost all his big fights. Well, everyone lost all their big fights. A lot of the best fighters lost all their big fights. You could say that about literally anyone. Miguel Cotto lost all his big fights. Majority of them. Canelo, Mayweather, Pacquiao. These are the 3 best guys he fought. He lost. You could literally spin that narrative about any fighter. He lost all his big fights. You could literally spin that about anyone. Like I said, I just think for me, De La Hoya is a legend. And yeah, I think he's a legend, all-time great, and it feels, I get upset when people disrespect him. I think he deserves a lot more credit for a great career. And, initially at the start, he was a great promoter as well. He was a dominant promoter. They had all the fighters, even Mayweather was working with them. So, yeah, hopefully Canelo and De La Hoya, I said this last week, they can resolve their issue. I don't think it will. I think it's got to a point where it's gonna be I don't think their relationship's ever gonna be mended now. I think unfortunately it is what it is. I think Oscar's going to probably find it difficult to move on, because remember, he built this guy from a teenager to a superstar. You know, so you've got you're gonna be bitter a little bit. But listen, I wish both of them all the best. Hopefully Oscar De La Hoya can build his Golden Boy Promotion stable back up. And listen, there may be another Canelo around the corner. Maybe it's Ryan Garcia, maybe it's Virgil Ortiz, maybe it's Jaime Munguia. You know, who knows? But yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think about Oscar and Canelo's relationship. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.